Okay. Market recaps version 2. So, I'm sorry earlier I didn't know na iba yung screen. Was on another screen as far as the recording goes, so it wasn't moving at all. So this time I'm 100% sure this is the right one. So I'm gonna discuss over what happened to Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, U.S. markets, Nasdaq, Dow Jones, S&P 500, Russell 2000, and some forex. Okay, main thing is Euro USD. I only go over the major pairs. So Euro USD, maybe GBP, maybe JPY. So first, BTC last week actually dropped to its lows. Okay, testing this buying area again. I was mentioning a drop. I've been mentioning a drop, and this actually is that wick breakout, and it's really it's not as strong. So this is a sign of rejection, sign of selling from when it broke out of this high and then hit this, and most likely we're looking at a resistance that held. So this is the resistance right here. Endpoint is 32,650. This right here, this whole thing is that resistance. So that full thing is the resistance, meaning there's selling interest in that area. Now that it's proving that, we could potentially see a drop for Bitcoin towards here at 2674.5 and towards here at 22,184. So first here at 22,184, the reason I'm looking at this is because this is a wick-to-wick formation that actually broke resistance right here. If this selling is true, then price should have dropped from there once it tested it again. So if you don't know already, my strategy involves price action and retracement trading, meaning I'm looking for basis, I'm looking for imbalance of demand and supply. And the idea is when they come back to those areas, they're going to do the same thing as they did before. So BTC, what are we looking at? Actually, this area is holding pretty well. If there's no buying left in this area, it should have just went up, went back to this area of consolidation, but it did not. So at this point in time, we're looking at maybe looking at reversal. So going to a lower time frame, what do you want to see? Reversal. You'll want to see an uptrend form, at least in the 1 hour, that would delete this area right here. Why this area? 26994.0. Because that's actually the price that stopped the actual reversal. It stopped the buying and it proved selling. So once it goes there, hello, I have a guest. Once it can you play. Once the price does this, that's the image that I'm looking at. So on a reversal, a 1 hour time frame, we need an uptrend, and the buying idea would come from that uptrend. When it gets tested, that's the idea. Okay? When it gets tested, if you see something like this, breaks 26994, that's the reversal. Otherwise, it's just gonna keep on chopping down, and it's doing that right now. It's actually doing that. That's the opposite. This is a downtrend, and it's being respected. So why would you buy? Why would you buy right now when it's showing this? Okay, every time that the price is going back to this area, the sweet spot, it's being pushed down. So why would you buy there? There's no real reason for buying there unless it's part of your strategy as far as counter trend goes, counter momentum. So now we're looking at this as support. This on daily time frame, this is the resistance area. This right here. This consolidation is part of the resistance that broke down. All right. So I'm looking at this as the resistance right now, above 29070. Just because I'm saying that this is the resistance doesn't mean that the price will actually go up there. It just means that if price goes up there, there's a high chance that it's going to do the same thing and drop again. Okay, so we just have to be patient. That's BTC, Ethereum. So I've been mentioning Ethereum. This area right here is not as healthy as BTC when it comes to where it could drop. I've been saying that this Ethereum loves to wick and loves to trap people, and it did that. Did just that. This was demand. This was the bottom portion of the demand that I was looking at for Ethereum, and it was just sliced through, wicked through. So if we look at this, Ethereum is respecting buying from this section right here above this area. All right. So resistance for Ethereum right now is above 1834.52 on the daily time frame. If we look around where it dropped, you can see where the buying happened. And that always gives an interest for me. Price action strategy wise, what happened and where could it be? So it's somewhere around here. All right. It looks like it's this. This full area is where the buying actually caught Ethereum's drop. It did wick past a little bit, but at the end of the day, it did wick up and move up from this area right here. That's the 1 hour time frame. If we look in a lower time frame, most likely we'll be able to pinpoint this. Let's try that. Apparently, that's too much data for the basic plan. 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Okay. So 30 minute will actually change that area to down here. So lower time frames will have our refinement. All right. So what's next for Ethereum? Ethereum is the same as BTC. We need confirmation. We need reversal. Right now, Ethereum is trying to do that. See the difference between Ethereum and BTC. Drop and then drop. And right now, what it did is actually test 100% the sweet spot, meaning the next time it goes up, it's most likely going to hunt and go inside this area, 1722.00. That's not really the freshest area for shorting, but it is an area that's showing shorting instance. It's actually the base that created all of that down movement. So 1 hour time frame. Inside this resistance, I'm looking at this area. And one of my most favorite formations is the reversal confirmation style formation. So those areas, 1837.29 and then 1851.69. That's an hour time frame buying idea. The first one is 1722 as the nearest one. If you want an uptrend, if you want to buy this again, wait for an uptrend. So it's doing this. So this actually can trigger a buy, but it's not enough for me. As I mentioned, it needs to break some resistances. 1696. Okay, it broke that, but it didn't close above it. So for me personally, my preference, it needs to close above that price. Actually, that might not be it. No, it's not at 1697.13. This high is 1696.14. So it needs one more point. Next is BNB. BNB, I've been mentioning this as a drop coin. So it needs to drop. Drop and drop and drop. This is the support. This is the resistance.
The road toy.
You go.
It's hurting behind the toy.
Oh. All right. So resistance area. Resistance area for BNB is quite high. The nearest is this. The nearest is this area. But it's so choppy in here. There's so much indecision. It spent so much time in this area that I'm just thinking it's going to bypass all of this and go up here. If it does reverse, right? If it does reverse, this actually is a nice bottom range support. So we'll see if it can hold. Daily time frame, we'll look at this area as the nearest shorting, as the nearest resistance. But again, I will have a buying bias just because of where we are against this area. We're really close to buying. We're really close to support. If it can create an uptrend and hold it, then it's the same idea with BTC and BNB. I'm sorry, Ethereum. So, see, drop, no new low. There's no new low for this. So there's not really a confirmed downtrend, unlike Ethereum and BTC. So what does it tell me? The next time that it breaks out of this, first it's gonna get trapped. Okay, first it's gonna get trapped. And I love traps. If you've been listening to my analysis, I love traps. This is where I'm looking at as a trap. It's gonna shoot up here and then bounce down. And then depending on what the formation is, it probably will redirect. So if it does this, I'm looking at the down and then bounce up to break that. Okay, that's the picture that I'm looking at right now. That's order flow. If you know what order flow is, then you should know that demand and supply being respected doesn't mean that it's gonna hold forever. Every time that it gets tested, it gets weaker and weaker. So that's BNB. That's a picture for BNB. Now let's go over U.S. markets. Dow Jones. Dow Jones is inside the sweet spot for the current trend. Okay, it's actually in the middle of the sweet spot. This is the full sweet spot right here. And now it's trying to reverse. It hit some buying around this area and it's trying to reverse. I don't see um, I don't see any catastrophic drop happening for Dow Jones anytime soon. It could, and then hunt this down, hunt this area down at 30,904. We'll see what happens. I mean, this is going to be the last quarter of the year, so we'll see what happens if it drops catastrophic and then test this area and then bounce back up. Or from where it is now, just bounce up. All I'm looking at is trend right now. I'm not looking at refined areas. This is just trend. Nasdaq. All right, Nasdaq. I'm looking at the gaps for Nasdaq for a potential gap play. So meaning it can drop and it can still be healthy to bounce back up. Okay, if you've seen my videos, if you've seen some of my videos, I've been saying since this happened that Nasdaq needs to drop and test some highs that it broke out of. 13,348.75, 13,740.75. below 14.6 and below 14,000, 13,979.25. It needs to test some breakout areas that it did for us to be able to see if if all of this buying is true or if it's just a mock-up of 2018. If you want to know what happened 2018, easy enough to say, easy enough to see. This right here is 2018. So this right here is 2018. 2018, October 2018. And then what did it do? Drop from there. Okay, deleting some actual supports, hunting down some areas that it could for it to just go back up again. So just big picture analysis, big picture of what to see, past data, past movement, market movement, and everything is just cyclical at this point in time. If you look at the markets, it's just doing the same thing. Just it's higher. There's a lot more money involved in the markets at this point. S&P 500 gap play. S&P 500 is right here at 14,30250. Where's the breakout? For it to drop inside 4243.25. That's the breakout play. That's the only clean breakout play that I'm seeing for S&P 500 right now. Hasn't tested this, so there you go. Below 4327.50. Does that align with the gap play? Yes, it does. So that's going to be interesting if it can do that. The idea is it's going to drop here and then bounce back up. We'll see if it does that. Potentially it could reverse again. Why? The same with BTC. The same with BTC. See how it closed below this pivot low. It's a wick. It's a wick. It can't close below that because there's buying pressure coming from below this area. So it can potentially reverse from this point. Again, this is just scenarios. This is ideas. If I haven't told you the disclaimer yet, this is not financial advice. This is trade ideas, personal trade ideas. And I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a licensed financial advisor. So all of this is up to the trader. Russell 2000 is it's low cap stocks index fund. So it's playing a range. So we'll see if it can actually go down again or honor this uptrend right here. If it honors this uptrend right here, what it's gonna do, sweet spot tested, right? It's gonna do that. Gonna break out of this range and then go back in and then do that again. So we'll see if that's the picture. Next is euro. Okay, I'm gonna use the futures contract for euro, 2-hour time frame. Okay? I've been playing around with euro as far as where to go. Buying idea below 1.07905. Shorting ideas above 1.10085. Again at 1.10295. If it goes down and down, last buying idea would be around 1.07025. This is Japan yen. It's honoring this supply. It's going down and down, hitting this cluster right here of buying where buyers actually won. So it's bouncing off of that. We'll see if it can actually delete this buying. Oh, this is interesting. This is very interesting. This right here, to those who loves patterns, that's an M pattern right there. So when it goes up here, this is a probable short. So I'm gonna end this here. Again, Japan yen 0.0074570. Where does that translate to USDJPY. So USDJPY translate as a buying area right here, W pattern. So buying idea for USDJPY at 134.845. Yeah, that looks like it. This is support, or I'm sorry, resistance that's being hit right now. So it's just the inverse. Because USDJPY is you're buying US and selling Japan yen. What I showed earlier is Japan yen futures. All right, we're going to end this here today. If you have any questions, feel free to send me a message or put it on the comments. If you have trades that you want reviewed, same thing, send me a message, put it in the comments, and we'll talk then. All right, to those who are trading, great trades.